Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic week of 9Moons Rocket League. As always, I am one of the casters here, Big Fella, and I'm joined tonight by the wonderful Novanta. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm 1 year older, celebrate a birthday, have myself my favorite clear beverage in my 9 Moon glass. Get yours somewhere else because I got my VIP status. But I am excited and elated to be part of week 4 action here at 9 Moons Gaming.
Absolutely. Well, Novanta, we have a couple exciting games tonight. First game coming up, we have Atlas 512. Right now, one of the reigning champs of the league, really high up there in the rankings, versus the third seed just above them. We have the Soup Kitchen with third place right now. And, you know, Novanta, we have not seen Soup Kitchen work on stream so far.
Well, we haven't seen Soup Kitchen, but what a debut would it be on the stream for them to come up there and upset the apple cart. You and I both know Atlas 512 is a super club here in 9 Moons. They won repeat, but to be embarrassed on stream, that may be something that Soup Kitchen's looking to happen today. So, you know me, I'm always excited about every time we have a 9 Moon stream, but this match here is a main event, and it's only our first of two.
Well, I mean, it is a giant wild card for the Soup Kitchen so far. Again, we haven't seen too much of them. In fact, we haven't seen them on stream at all. But, let the record show these guys got third place for a reason. Stream or not, these guys have pulled together to work hard and hopefully come out with a W tonight. We have Captain Soup with fellow veterans Sean and Bree, longtime friends, and these guys are definitely a perfect fit.
Yeah, perfect fit. It's come down to chemistry because it's the end of the regular season and playoffs are just on the horizon. And teams with the best team tends to win the day. So I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen. Maybe I might be going a little ahead of myself and saying this won't be a sweep. There has to be some sort of a battle here because when it comes to that midfield, when it comes to locking down that middle part of that pitch, I guarantee we're going to see some battles.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, both teams have the same record of 4 wins and 2 losses over the course of the season. We are 2 weeks away from playoffs so far. We are in week 4, ladies and gentlemen, and honestly, both of them having a 4-2 record, very, very strong. The only reason Soup Kitchen comes out on top is by 2-game differential. So, slight tiebreaker there. But now both teams get to finally show off on stream for 9 Moons and finally get to show, at least for the side of Soup Kitchen, what they're really made of.
You know what? And you can interact in the chat right now. That 9 Moons Gaming. Let us know who do you think is going to walk away with the victory today. Put on your Nostradamus cap and predict. And we'll probably read some of those on the air.
Well, I mean, honestly, in terms of, a prediction of my own, I think Atlas 512 really is one of those teams that are championship caliber, regardless of their performance in the season. When they make playoffs, they are always willing to put in the work. You look at a guy like Snarf, he's championship caliber. We've talked about him in previous weeks and previous seasons. This guy really knows how to adapt to any team he's on. He's willing to play any of the roles that's needed for a successful team.
I can't deal with this biased nature. I can't believe how biased you are, biggest of fellas walking in there. Are you on the payroll, sir? Are they buying you a jersey? Huh? We're supposed to be objective and impartial. What's going on?
Well, I mean, if we want to play devil's advocate as well, I mean, DJ Soup being a returning player from previous seasons, DJ Soup has proven to be a very successful captain. Took down one of the greats in season 1, which was, including myself, my team, and Vamek. They came back, they got to the grand finals. There was a very solid team that season. And to follow it up with this season, I mean, Soup definitely chose carefully with his players. You have Sean to complement his aggressive nature. And you also have Bree to be a fast flyer. Definitely one of the fastest teammates you can have when it comes to these aerial 50s.
Yeah, absolutely. Having teammates is always good. And even though this is the first match of the night, I always wonder about how teams get warm for these sort of things. We haven't seen much of Soup Kitchen. We can sit here and postulate and guess what's going to happen today. But I know when you have that first match on stream, when there's no chance to see how the vibe is feeling that night or whether or not there's ghosts in the machine, being able to get yourself warm as quickly as possible is a tantamount. As we're waiting for these people to load in for that first matchup, I know how that is. I know you have that time when you put the hours hours in to make sure you're warm, but then you got to sit and wait till everything is ready, till your opponents are ready, till everything is just perfect, and I'm have a cooling effect. But as you said, Soup Kitchen, formidable team, the stronger of the two sides. Let's see the walk away with the win tonight.
Well said. I mean, with that, I believe the players are soon to be loading into the lobby and the party as well. So I'm going to get through my predictions as well. Obviously, you got a tiny hint of my bias, but I think if Atlas is able to thwart the aggression that Soup Kitchen has to offer with Sean's constant demoing, Bree's aerial 50s, and Soup's all-around aggressiveness and well-played positioning, I think I'm going to have to go with N4K and the boys. I'm going to have to go with Atlas 512.
Well, let me know what you say in the chat, but I'm going to go with the opposite side, because why would I agree with Big Fella? Why do that? Because you know what? How many times you felt pretty good in a fighting game, for example, and you hit that quarter, hit that two-player button, new challenger enters the arena, and you get wrecked. Here's an opportunity for them to do just that there for Soup Kitchen, and it starts right now for them. So I'm going to go with them. I'm going to say, you know what? Soup Kitchen for the win.
Well, we definitely have one of the best matchups this week cooking with the Soup Kitchen versus Atlas 512. Go ahead and put your predictions in chat, bet with all those channel points that you've earned by watching our previous streams. And, well, best of luck to these players.
Oh man, best of luck, but you all know who Big Phil's really rooting for. I'm just kidding. It's a best of 5, fastest 5 minutes in esports, and it starts right now.
All right, well, usually it always comes down to the kickoff. Always get a good aggressive play coming out of Atlas 512. We see already starting to possession, great angles as well. Soup with a great save. Dark gonna try to keep it in. Ball bouncing a little dangerously, but Soup is there to clear.
Sometimes you talk about that first minute and a half of that sussing out period about you and your opponent, but what we're seeing now is that Team Ken sussing out. But as I say that, opening goal already from N4K.
You know, they've always had possession ever since kickoff. Snarf and End, always a great 1-2 combo for these people. Able to succeed off of their chemistry, go for these 1-2 plays, and honestly, they've been able to win many kickoffs throughout the season, which I think is a great definition of their success early on.
These people? What do you mean these people there, Big Fella? Nah, I'm just kidding. But you're right. Whatever that says, whatever you need to do to have that first goal says a lot about the leverage you want to employ. In fact, before that goal came about, I was just about to say that Soup Kitchen was trying to get a little bit more comfortable with the positioning of their team. And well, you're figuring that out on stream in game one. It's pretty much right for someone to steal a goal from you. And that's what Atlas 512 just did.
Snarf with a great play, 0 boost, but able to get past 2. Sean on the wall trying to follow up as well. Dark gonna clear it out of danger and start charging it down the offensive half. Bree off the wall, Sean to follow up. Nice hit, Snarf can't get to it, but N4K will, in position and ready. Gonna get that save. We're raiding the backboard once again, Mr. Soup. Gets a nice 50, but not before Snarf can clear it. Sean up already. Not the best of touch. They're gonna have to be on the retreat.
Well, you talk about trust and verify. You saw having N4K right behind their teammate there to make sure there was someone left on that back line. It's a risky proposition if he fails, because it puts someone out of that forward offensive position, but it stops the bleeding. And right now, that could be a dangling ball in front of net, and it goes through. You know what? Every time I'm talking, people are scoring. I'm going to shut up now. What's going on?
Well, Navanta N4K got a really great solo play. It's what he's known for. Really, really great at separating the defense. Had a fantastic flip reset play, being able to fake or win the 50 on that flip reset. And slow and steady wins the race, and that ball was as slow as ever. But it may just be the point in which Atlas 512 can pull away for game one.
Well, 2 minutes have already gone by, and we've seen 2 goals there from Atlas 512. He's pretty much on cruise control if they let it. Find a way to slice the defense of Soup Kitchen pretty handily, especially on that second goal. The question now becomes, do you get in your own head? Do you try to say, hey, you know what, we're doing something right, let's keep the pace, or do you go super aggressive, try to run up the score, which I totally commend doing, but it ended up being your undoing if your opponent gets back into the contest due to your over-aggressive nature.
Well, as much as I would love to see some double flip resets out of the side of N4K, and is a very disciplined player, and you can see that within himself and his team. Snarf with the bar down, proving once again you don't always have to be flashy, you just have to sink it in the back of the net.
I don't think I'm ever going to say this, but who was that? Oh, snap. It was Snarf. It makes it a tray. 3 goals scored, 3 goals unanswered. Atlas 512.
Just over halftime, 3-0, very convincing offense coming out of Atlas 512, really shutting down the Soup Kitchen. I think somebody may have turned the burners off for this team quite yet, but a flip reset attempt, and it's gonna prove me wrong. First goal scored for Soup Kitchen.
Very critical to pull that back, especially because you're right, it was in danger of running away from them if you're Soup Kitchen. These goals here are not your triple musty flip resets. These are ones that are just hanging in front of net, and you don't want to lose these kind of games because those are the games that go in the back of your head that won't allow you to sleep tonight if you drop the series. So kudos to Soup Kitchen to getting back in this one. They have a long, long way to go.
Just over 2 minutes. Soup Kitchen peppering up the backboard, trying to create the best soup possible. And with that said, Soup answers back so quickly. This game is now a 1-goal differential, Navanta. How did we get here in a matter of a minute?
Well, they say that about insurance goals. They're insurance goals for a reason. They're still leading Atlas 512 case, but you let your opponent back into the contest with 2 rapid-fire goals back-to-back. I'm not sure if they're shaking, but I know I would be.
Again, the offense is relentless. It's just like that aggressive offense I was warning Atlas about pre-game here, as Dark trying to formulate some momentum, get maybe a bumper demo to lead the charge on offense. Snarf now up in the air, beating past Soup. Bree in net. Sean is waiting, but nobody else is there for Atlas. Dark attempts it. Sean gonna hit it off the corner. Dark has a great shot. Upper 90s, Soup can't get to it, and Dark.
Well, that was a pass off the wall. That was gift wrap for Atlas 512. Stronger teams will get those every day. They were kind of lucky the angle worked in their favor there, but yet the result's the same. Finally, they find a way to stop the bleeding. Back with a 2-goal advantage, Atlas 512 has 4 goals.
90 seconds left. As Atlas, you want to retain possession, but also prevent them from the aggression that they showed in that 1-minute period of time where they got those 2 quick goals. You got to make sure you shut down Soup and his offense. He's a threat to your net. You have to be careful when it comes to slow playing in that corner, because 50s like those can get you in trouble. Sean proving that once again. Soup following up as well. Dark trying to take it slow, and 4K going to take it off him. Tries to flick, but a defensive mistake coming out of Atlas will be punished by Bree.
Well, I feel kind of awkward. I was just about to give Dark their flowers for that epic save, but having that ball in that mid-pitch, what did I say? It's a battleground. Do not let that happen under any circumstances, and that was passed back. I guess everything is balanced because 2 gift wrap goals on either side of this contest. We're at 4-3.
Just under a minute to go, though. Dark has an opportunity. He's going to pepper it off the backboard. Mr. Soup creating that offensive advantage that we know he can do. Nice flick by Snarf, beating 1. Just going to try to clear that out best as possible. N4K up with Bree. Nobody's going to get a nice touch. And again, it's a battle for that midfield. Dark trying to settle it. Passes Sean, passes Bree as well. Sean going to go for that key bump to allow Soup to keep that ball in the mixer. Snarf getting that corner boost, beating past Sean. But again, Soup's rotations, very tight-knit, allowing them to score. Well, but unfortunately, they don't have the boost to do it. Dark off the backboard, gonna clear the way, 10 seconds, and it could be a disaster, but N4K off the backboard. May has just shut down this game.
Well, there you go. Atlas 512 wins this contest, but in the most topsy-turviest way possible. There was a time where I thought, oh my gosh, domination, hide your kids, hide your wife. Then you let the opponents back in Soup Kitchen, but he eke out a win. This tells you one. Atlas 512 has a way of path to victory, and the Soup Kitchen has a path to victory as well. After one game, I still don't know which team is a clear-cut advantage.
Well, Navanta, live by the sword, die by it, and in those circumstances, when you score a lot of goals, you are also susceptible to a lot of goals against you as well. We've seen that with Atlas 512. Their aggressive and sometimes reckless offense really led them to defensive mistakes as well as being punished for those mistakes as well, leading to a high-scoring game that first game.
Doesn't matter if you're talking about Rocket League, actual cars, or skateboard. Do not go faster than what you're comfortable with your vehicle, because aggressiveness is great, but if you're going wildly out of rotation to be aggressive, that's when bad things happen.
Already starting off with a strong double commit. Sean trying to get a demo in the back, and N4K going to take advantage of that. Bree, last man back. It's a nice save into the corner, but Snarf is already up and taking shots at the net. Double commit on defense here by End and Snarf. Snarf going to get a nice double touch off of that, beating out Soup, but End is over there. Going to go up for that solo play. Denied by Bree as well, and Soup Kitchen stays alive.
Well, they're staying alive, but I don't see much of a defensive shape. It's kind of like everyone going forward, put out all the fires, which is great if you have that kind of concentration, but leaves you open, susceptible over time if you don't get things happening to your favor. So not the most efficient way of keeping it a 0 score, but it's effective for them.
Oh, what a nice pass from N4K off the wall and ceiling to Snarf. It was a very quick counterattack. Snarf recognizing the opportunity he has as Soup Kitchen rushes back to retreat, but not fast enough as End snipes Snarf, and Snarf is able to snipe the back of the net.
Kind of ironic, the most spectacular goal was actually the most preventable. There were so many cars on one side of that pitch, on that right flank, left so much empty space for a goal here. Top down, and that's always cleared away. Oh, that could have been a goal there, fella. Wow.
What a save from Mr. Soup, reading that ball going down. Unreal reaction from Soup, man. I mean, this guy is so on point as an all-around player on his Rocket League team. There's a reason he is such a trustworthy captain for many players in the league so far. Little bit of dirty action between Bree and Dark here, keeping it in the corner. Dark slams Bree out of the way, not before Mr. Soup can get another key save for his team. Off the backboard, nothing much doing. N4K trying to pass it off to Dark. Soup off the wall. Snarf meeting him there as well. Going to try to pinch it off the backboard. Gets a little wide. Sean going to keep them. Give him a little bit of breathing room here.
So kind of a pro tip here when you're in a best of 5 or best of 7, teams that employ more than one strategy in a series tend to have the advantage. Game 1, Atlas 512 had a way of being a little bit more of occupying space as their opponent were not. We're seeing a little bit now in Game 2 as well. But what they're doing on top of that is almost acting like a hive, just having 2 people forward or 2 people back at that same time, always oscillating their formation. There's no opponent in the world that can predict when that happens, and that gives them more opportunities to score.
Well said, and it looks like the offensive momentum is going to start in favor of the Soup Kitchen. All 3 members are going to be berating the goal right now, but not before N4K can get a nice clear downfield. But again, we're going to experience a little bit of that ping pong action. Sean, open net, knock, knock, no one's home. Sean gets the equalizer.
Okay, Sean, he scored a goal all extra. What is this, like a backflip, a little bit of a pirouette swirl? All right, bro, you can just walk it in, but all right, style points. But yes, we're tied at 1 apiece.
Just over 2 minutes remaining. The score is tied once again this series. Both teams absolutely proving their worth as one of the top 4, top 5 teams in the league, as Snarf gonna beat it past Sean for the lead, 2-1 in favor of Atlas.
Yeah, guess what? You just got snarfed. Look at that shot that was cleared away, but right there being your own insurance policy. Why not? Why not go forward with it?
Yeah, I mean, if you already have the ironclad defense that you have this game, plus you have wonderful teammates that can just pass it to you whenever you want, I mean, why not go for these plays? You know, you have Snarf and End, these creative offensive geniuses who are absolutely ready to score at any moment. And 4K with another one on the board.
Wow. And 4K caught the defense sleeping in 4K, just going right up on that last defender and just top corner. No one had a chance on that ball. And 3-1's the scoreline now, again favoring Atlas 512.
Now, we've been here before. There has been a big goal differential. I mean, 2 goals is not too much, but it is insurance like we had talked about. I mean, it is absolutely winnable for the Soup Kitchen. These guys have to keep up their aggressive behavior. Soup trying to get that Bree going for the bump. Unfortunately, can't get it. As Dark gets a nice save, but Mr. Soup will not give up. Sean trying to get an additional touch on it. All three members of Atlas packing the net as N4K gonna beat out some of the other members of Soup Kitchen, but not before Sean can get a save.
Well, things are breaking down here and fast. We're seeing everyone go the length of the pitch as they scramble back on offense and defense. And that could be the dagger, if not the twist. Another goal there on the run, using the wall to the advantage. Hit out mid, pass served up like a platter on Thanksgiving Day.
Hashtag hat trick for Snarf, 3 for 4 on this game right now, head of the team. This guy's absolutely killing it with all of these passes by his teammates. These guys have definitely proven that they are the offensive masters so far in this league.
Well, that may be the case, but for any other team in this league, you should be watching Atlas 512. We thought they're going to be struggling. We thought there would be a different team, different rules, but it seems it's the same. After 2 games, comfortably in the lead for now, and they may be on series point, barring a miraculous change.
Bree with a nice save. Dark, unfortunately, not being able to get to it. I would like to see a little bit more aggression in terms of a little bit more bumps and demos outside of Soup Kitchen. I mean, Sean and Bree, definitely big powerhouses in terms of the aggressive maneuvering we all know and love in this 9Moons league, but I'd like to see a little bit more action out of them, a little bit more capitalization on these bumps and demos here.
Well, this is why Rocket League is such a psychological game, right? You let a goal happen, that was a slow roller. You let a goal happen, that was a technical play top 90. And you let it go happen on the run of defense. You get snake bit. Thankfully, you pull one back. But what happens with a lot of teams, they go, you know what, we're going to sit back in our net and wait to do the counterattack. It's usually a desperation move, and we're seeing Soup Kitchen, dare I say, snake bit.
Well, I mean, while Atlas seemed to have brought the fire extinguishers for the Soup Kitchen, you know, I don't see all hope being lost with that last-second goal by Sean. I think there is absolutely still a bunch of life in them. However, it is a 0-2 disadvantage for Team Soup Kitchen. These guys really have to rally it together for this third and potentially final game of the series.
So this is the first time I've saw Soup Kitchen on stream. Looks like they're gonna drop that second game. If that ball drops, rule 1 or 0, depending on how you look at it. But there's still a way for them to get back into this. There's one thing that Soup Kitchen does well that Atlas 512 doesn't, and that is get as wide as possible. When you give yourself that kind of spread out situation, yeah, you can do flying V's if you like, but then you give yourselves more options to pass or take the ball up pitch. You got to make your opponent guess. Atlas 512 is already beating you on speed, which is kind of crazy because you have individual faster players, but as a team, 512 is beating you on that. You're not going to win that way. You got to confuse. You got to go for change-ups, curveballs to use, kind of play for a different sport.
Yeah, I mean, switching up strategy is the name of the game for these long series. You have to be able to adapt to your opponent. That is one of the most important things a team of a championship caliber can do, is switch strategies when needed. I mean, these guys, Atlas, have found an answer to every one of Soup Kitchen strategies. These guys right now have the Soup Kitchen figured out, and I think they have the secret formula for Soup Kitchen.
That's true. You know, we got that series point with Atlas 512s looking to do that in a clean sweep, breaking my prediction of thinking we at least get a game 4 or game 5. But now's the chance to really say, you know what? We got beat 2 different ways. We want to make it a third way from Sunday, and that was the opportunity there to open up the scoring, which was their first opportunity for them to open the scoring there, meeting Soup Kitchen. That was swatted away.
Very close play. I very much like that solo play by Mr. Soup there to try to flick it past the opponent. Unfortunately, he didn't get the touch and flick that he wanted, so unfortunately was saved. But Dark may now have an opportunity for Atlas as it goes past Bree. Soup gonna be the one to clear it out for his team, and 4K gonna pass it by Soup. Bree getting touched up a little bit. Snarf off the wall. Has an opportunity to beat one more. Looks like it's an open net. Oh, but just wide and misses as well.
It's one of those opportunities there. Watching it live, you're probably going, well, how could you miss that? But that was an odd angle, a really hard angle to nail. And seeing the pressure of having your opponents come at you 100 miles an hour, if not more, could totally understand why that one was shanked right.
Lots of aggression, lots of bumps and demos coming out of both teams right now. These teams are here to play right now. I do not believe Soup Kitchen wants to go home this early into the series. I am thinking they are fighting for their life.
Fortunately, I'm not in the comms, but I really think it is an opportunity here. Did I say that? I really think that Soup Kitchen saw in the comms goes, look, we dropped 2 games. We tried being nice. We tried being a smart team. Let's go back to what we're doing. And what they were doing is coming up with shots from angles I didn't think existed. Open scoring 1-0.
A lot of key bumps coming out of Sean. I really like this offensive switch up for Soup Kitchen. Sean and Bree being the catalyst for their offensive movement. Soup being the third guy, just being ready to prevent any counterattacks on the back line and rotate where needed, which is a perfect fit for the captain. And it seems, since they struck first blood, that seems to be working.
Kind of a genius everything about it. A team called it Soup Kitchen, but the Soup guys in the back, that's actually pretty genius. I gotta give props for that. But as it is right now, they do have the 1-goal advantage. Let's see if they add more. Because the first thing that have that for them would be the lead, but they had a 2-goal lead. It'd be actually a good sign for them. Shot on, and there it is, right on cue, fella.
Great angle by Bree, and again, like, this is how they get their momentum started. You start off by a demo or a bump, you force them to rotate out of position, and then you catch them with their axles pulled down, Novanta.
Yes, that counts. But I was going to say, too, usually the first 2 games, that shot from those corners, those angles wouldn't have happened. They would have tried one more touch, and by then, the defense would have recovered. But now we're seeing these clangers, these bangers, and that's been the difference for them.
Soup with a great follow-up from another great 50 of Sean. Once again, these guys have found their rhythm. This is the aggression that I was talking about, Novanta.
I have never seen an angry bowl of Soup before, but this is close to it. 3 goals scored, 3 goals unanswered. This time going the opposite direction. Soup Kitchen is rolling.
These guys are on fire right now. Unbelievably, 3-0 after the performance Atlas gave in games 1 and 2. The Soup Kitchen burners are still on, and these guys are fighting like never before.
We see here is using that width of the pitch. I said it before, but now N4K, the star of a game and a half so far, kind of being held quiet. But this was a shot as Dark is the one to do the scoring here. Atlas 512 pull back within 1.
We were talking about championship caliber teams able to adapt to opposing teams. N4K going for that fantastic fake of a solo play, just ditch it to the backboard and go for these demos. You saw N4K hit it up, wait for Dark to get that touch, and just ran up to Soup Kitchen very slowly, just waiting for that bump opportunity.
Well, you know what, to be honest with you, we have to expect this because we haven't seen any blowouts in series. We just saw battles. And so I don't think Alex 512 is going to walk away without scoring 1, but now only being down by 2 or being up by 2 in the case of the Soup Kitchen, it's a whole new wrinkle in this contest here.
Great bump to try to set up Snarf for a goal, but Soup read it, luckily. Passing another player, N4K, bailing his team out. Snarf going to follow it up on defense and start that counterattack. Lots of rough play coming out into this corner as Soup gonna try to play the ground game a little bit. N4K with a nice shot on net, blocked by Sean, but Dark gonna go onto that backboard again. Snarf is up, not gonna get it this time. N4K again off that backboard, setting up whatever they can. Bree and Sean trying to go for a nice passing play, but unfortunately shut down by Dark. N4K gonna beat out Soup, but not before he can get the demo, but it's too late for the Soup Kitchen as Snarf puts it into the back of the net again.
Well, you know, within that last 90 seconds, teams have an option to try to hold their lead and try to add on to it. And even though both of them work for different situations, you want to get as many goals as possible for opportunities like that. More than a minute to go, and only 1 goal separates these 2 teams right now.
Yeah, the Soup Kitchen definitely showing signs of prowess, reasons why they're the 3rd seed. But Atlas is hungry for the win right now. We've seen a lot of possession and bumping again coming out of the side of Atlas. They've switched up their strategy a little bit to fit this game. These guys have been ruthless on offense. Great touch by Snarf. Can Dark follow up? No. But what a great passing play by Atlas. These guys know where each other are, and that's the most important thing in this game, Novanta.
No lie, no one's going to fall Atlas 512 in their power of adjustment. That's what championship teams are made for. But the question becomes, is it too late for them? Can they find a way to manufacture 1 more goal to make sure they're level to at least force an overtime?
Well, they gotta clear this ball out. You only have 15 seconds to pressure the defense of the Soup Kitchen. See what they can do. Snarf trying for the air dribble, unable to get it. Dark again with another touch. bumps Sean, but I think it's going to be too late as Soup Kitchen clears it downfield, and they are finally going to get on the board for the series.
Well, it's about time. Look, we know these two teams are pretty much even Stevens on that ranking, and now a game that actually proves that. It was 3 goals up for Soup Kitchen. They eke away with the win. 3 is all they needed, but we got ourselves a brand new contest. It's a brand new day.
Even with their strengths, I mean, you got to hand it to Atlas being able to capitalize on defense there. Soup Kitchen really played well that game. They had a very great offensive couple of plays, you know, with these setups of these bumps. Exactly what I wanted to see coming out of the Soup Kitchen. These guys have played to each other's strengths with these demos, with these bumps, and I mean, I would absolutely love to keep seeing more of this aggression from Soup Kitchen.
Well, aggression is always good, but please don't go back to the game 1 aggression. Give me more of that game 3 aggression, bye-bye.
Little bit of a slower start from Atlas here. Gonna keep it into the corner. N4K with a demo. Snarf last man back. Bree gonna try to bully him out of the way as Snarf hits it down to Soup and can't get to it in time. Soup is gonna take the first goal.
No, when I was a kid, I played the game, the floor is lava. Well, the corners are quicksand. If you don't know what you're doing there, don't go there. That was just basically an opportunity I was taking advantage. Soup Kitchen opens the scoring in this one, 1-0.
DJ Soup doing a great job of his positioning, always being where his team needs him the most. Bree and Sean, fantastic on these 50s. Fantastic space makers as well. Sean is always demoing or bumping someone. Bree with a great bump there as well. N4K gonna try to enact revenge on these guys. But again, Soup Kitchen is doing their job a little bit better. I mean, Atlas 512, we've said before, great at adapting to other teams' strategies. But is their adaptation better than the original thing?
Well, that's one thing that you could talk about and philosophize about for as long as the cows come home. But as it stands right now, they're only down by 1, which, to be fair, we haven't seen them be as crisp as they were in that first game. A little bit helter-skelter for them, but they're able to be still in the contest with a lucky chance. And there's a chance right on cue. N4K, another one, a slow roller in there. We'll love it once more.
Snarf is always hitting the backboard, which is N4K's dream. Constantly making plays off of the backboard. This team excels at just creating space for each other. Dark with these great 50s, Snarf hitting the backboard and also being in position when need be, and N4K just being the rock that Atlas needs for a fantastic team. These guys have such great synergy, and it shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes, if you want to be that whole aggressive play, a lot of people say, let's go for bumps, let's go for demos, and you don't want to attack that all willy-nilly. But if you're seeing someone always score, in this case, N4K, being passed from Snarf, you take out that second man, and N4K does another one. You take out that second man, which would be Snarf. You don't want to give the engine any opportunity to service their teammates. The fact that Snarf's in this game, after having so many goals for themselves, is the reason why they have the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, 2-1 with just over 3 minutes remaining. We do still see some life out of Soup Kitchen. I mean, Mr. Soup himself doing a great job of getting the ball down the field as much as possible for his team, getting those key saves that maybe Bree or Sean can't get to at the time. But Sean and Bree also being the great space makers. They need to apply a little bit more force this game, try playing the ball a little less slow, trying to go a little bit faster, and try to go for these aggressive 50s that Bree and Sean are both known for.
Well, if I'm looking at this pitch right now, it looks like Soup Kitchen is going to that kind of comfortable rhythm of that narrow attack, which has worked for them, but it's not nearly as efficient because you see all 3 cars are on one side of the pitch, and Atlas 512 takes advantage.
Atlas doing a great job of punishing the mistakes of the defense. Both sides, really, this series have done a great job of punishing the defense, and this is really where we start to see these championship caliber teams adapt to the situation and realize that, hey, listen, if we make mistakes, we're going to lose. We have to make as little mistakes as possible in order for us to win. Dark with a great save, realizing that as well. The more mistakes you make, the more opportunities for the opposing team to score on you, as proven by Atlas right here. Just over 2 minutes to go. It is 3-1.
3-1. It looks like Atlas 512 is seeing blood in the proverbial water. Look how much space is being bunched up by a soup kitchen. They get one back. This right here is kind of the luck. If they don't understand how it's important for them to occupy a width of the pitch, they get one back here. Can they get another one there, big fella?
I mean, it's entirely possible. We've seen in game one how close they came to winning that. It was so close, it was almost looking impossible. But this team came back in the final minutes and was able to almost equalize. So I think it's entirely possible. You have just under 2 minutes, and Soup Kitchen is not ready to be extinguished quite yet. Soup starting the advantage off of the backboard. Bree again trying to follow up. Sean being the third man. Soup is forced to retreat.
A little bit of retreat here, a little chance to recollect the attack on. It could be a pass for a pass, but decides to go on their own. And, well, you know, that's something new. I can't knock them for that. If you didn't see that coming, it was the last-ditch clear to get themselves on the board to equalize, because that is mission number 1 right now. They get that tie goal, and there it is from Bree.
Just over a minute left. This team did not give up. No matter how many times they hit the backboard, these guys refused to give up. Actually, almost a really good double touch by Sean, but Bree is there to bail him out for that goal. You have an equalizer. You have a little bit more room to breathe than you did 10 seconds ago.
Like I said before in that last game, the witching hours, that last 90 seconds of ending contest, we're tied 3 goals apiece. Kind of a silver goal situation, the one with the go-ahead goal looking to have a bit of that advantage. Atlas 512 in the blue. Series point looking to make this done early in 4 games, but this one here is dangling in front of net, and it's cleared away at the last possible moment. Now the demos are out. Fireworks on display, and it's not even July 4th.
Looking like a Michael Bay movie in this final minute, Novanta. These guys are going at it. Soup Kitchen and Atlas both hungry for their win. Atlas looking to close the series, and Soup Kitchen looking to stay alive. They only have 40 seconds to get this work done.
30 seconds is an eternity. If we're looking at a tight score, Soup Kitchen all needs one opportunity to get themselves a game 5, to force for game 5 with a fresh clock and a fresh approach. But for Atlas 512 being at series point, you want to be able to get yourself that final nail in the coffin, that final dagger, whatever metaphor you want to use. It has to happen now.
Uh-oh, very unfortunate triple commit. Can Snarf capitalize? No, Sean shuts him down. With a great demo in these final seconds left, we may be heading to overtime, Novanta, but Sean just wants to end the game as quick as possible. 1 second left. Bree, can he get back up off the backboard? Can Soup finish? Soup off the backboard again. Sean trying to get in, but no, they survived the 0-second onslaught, and we are now into overtime, Novanta.
I think you listen to the stream, because once Starf got eliminated from that play, there was no chance there for Atlas 512, and there's a shot atop of the goal. And well, big fellas, kind of hard to call it, but finally in overtime between these two teams, this is what I'm doing for. This is what I'm paying for. This is the price of admission.
Another demo coming out of Soup Kitchen. Sean, not enough boost to capitalize. Bree trying to compensate as well, but not before Dark can beam it down at the field. Snarf off the backboard again, beats out Bree. Oh, and then 4K shuts him down. Miscommunication on the back line. Snarf just peppering the backboard. Unreal.
How many times have we said this? Snarf to 4K, 4K to Snarf, Snarf to 4K, and well, Atlas 512 did the dirt work in 4 games to walk away with the series win.
Well, with a 3-1 series win, I mean, these guys did a fantastic job. Both Atlas and Soup Kitchen really proved their worth this entire series. I mean, yes, it was a 3-1, but it was a very close game, almost every game. I think maybe with one exception. I mean, these teams have duked it out. You know, unfortunately, Soup Kitchen found their rhythm a little too late. Atlas taking advantage, and these guys have come out with the win.
512's basically walked away with the win, but other opponents are probably watching, salivating, drawing up plans of what they could do to take this down, because Soup Kitchen had them on the ropes at plenty of times already. And if you're the Soup Kitchen, you're great. You had all the tools to win, but use the entire width of your pitch. This could have gone a different way on any other day but tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say after that? I mean, again, these guys have just performed so well. I mean, Atlas again being just a solid team. Their weaknesses are so hard to find because they're adapting their strategy almost all the time. We saw that game 4. I mean, Atlas was able to get a lot more demos off than in the early games of game 1 or 2, right? They started adapting to this scrappy style of these demos and these bumps, and were able to eventually conquer Soup Kitchen in that fashion towards the latter end of that series.
It happens. You have to do is regain, do a couple in-houses here at 9Moons, and get back next week. And if you're watching this right now and being like, yo, how can I get involved? Yo, make sure you hit us up at 9Moons Gaming. We are a cool community full of guys who dunk on me all the time. I mean, Rocket League players of all different skill levels looking to have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone willing to, work hard, have a lot of fun, and, just meet new people, 9moons.gg is absolutely your place. That's where I found my comfort in casting, as well as being able to witness such good Rocket League, Novanta.
Oh yeah, you are the GOAT. Follow this man on social media, by the way. But we're not done. We have one more game in the docket there, big fella. It's going to be the return of my favorite logo in the entire league, Bread against DedGoose.
Yeah, I mean, these two titans of teams, once again, I mean, I keep saying, titans of this league, these guys are so good. But I will say it over and over and over again, Novanta. Every single season, we have more and more higher skilled players. These guys are playing out of their minds. This season, for sure, we have seen the best players be able to participate in this league and really show what they're made of. And I could not be happier.
I see how it is. The league I don't play in, you go, oh, this is the best league we ever seen. No, okay, it's fine. I'm not mad. Yes, I'm terrible at Rocket League, but you're absolutely right. Every season, it just gets better and better and better, and these two teams are stacked and correct.
So, just to kind of reiterate from last week, Fribadunks actually took the W over DedGoose, a previously undefeated team. So Fribadunks now in the first seed, but DedGoose, I want to talk about DedGoose a little bit. They had all the momentum in the world coming in that series 5-0, and with a game 5, such a close game, but they wound up losing that game. So what I want to see this week is how they bounce back. That's the first loss they ever received. It was a super close Game 5 series. I want to see how these guys fare against Team Bread.
Yeah, a lot of times when you have that loss, a barrier gets broken, and you have those losses in bunches, and so you want to prevent that. Sometimes when it comes down to this game, wins or losses is a part of the whole nature of things, but getting a loss so late in the season is enough to put you in a bad run of form. I, like you, am on all ears and eyes, I don't know what the phrase is, to see what they're going to do, what the recovery plan is this week.
Yeah, I mean, one player to mention, Faden, the captain, the anchor of his team for DedGoose. I mean, this guy really is a mastermind of Rocket League. These guys have really shown and deserved that 5-0 record heading into last week. And, they're up against Bread, who has a record of 2-4. So, not necessarily the strongest team in the league right now. So I'm looking to see how they adapt to not only Bread's playstyle, but how they operate in general. They might have taken a loss last week and said, okay, maybe we need to change up something. Or maybe, their captain might have, told them like, hey, don't worry about it. It was a close game. We'll bounce back. Now the pressure of being undefeated is now off our shoulders. We can just play for fun and win at the same time.
Yeah, how many times has this happened in real life, in esports, IRL, when you have that one team that's just kind of awkward? They're not the best record. They're great on paper. They find ways to beat stronger teams. They lose to weaker teams. That's been Bread all season. Most fun to watch, if I have to say it. So imagine that. We're talking about that scenario in the last game. But imagine walking into the Lion's Den against DedGoose and walking away with a W. That is cool.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to see a victory for Team Bread, but also I would love to see DedGoose bounce back as well. These guys are fantastic players in the league, very active in our Discord and our in-houses. So again, make sure to follow us, or if you'd like to play a little bit more Rocket League, definitely hit us up in the Discord. But Novanta, we have a game to cast.
Oh yeah, another best of 5 with the big fella. Can I get your autograph after this?
Absolutely, Novanta. Only if I can get yours first. Little bit of offensive action coming out in favor of DedGoose so far. Deadman walking, just going to put it in. 20 seconds to the clock. These guys already off to a strong start as Deadman walking just going to take advantage of the hesitation coming out of Team Bread.
Gotta give props to Deadman Walker for being that brazen. A lot of teams would have rotated back to have another attack, but this one went right forward, and the victor goes and spoils. 1-0.
Yeah, already we're seeing heavy aggression coming out of Deadman walking. That guy just going to be flying all over the offensive half. And again, like we talked previously, Faden, the anchor, going to be there for his team and enable everyone. As Goose into the corner, going to be centered slightly, but not before Tractonics. Oh, gets an unfortunate miss. Skoy and Lemon, though, going to be there just in time. As Goose gets another quick shot off a net. These guys are playing in the back of the net right now. Tractonics gets demoed by Faden.
My goodness, if Goose made that shot, I would have uninstalled it. Faden gets another one. And we have a 2-goal back-to-back scoring attack from DedGoose.
Goose with a great opportunity. Gonna unfortunately miss, but set up his teammates for the hindsight goal as the Saffron dab from the Reaper comes out for DedGoose.
DedGoose, a little bit of a vengeance here. Talk about aggression. It's not always bumps and demos, and that's being able to try again. Even when you have pressure applied, it seems your scoring attack has gone and fizzled out. To stay in the pocket, not rotate back and try another time. That's the kind of good aggression that's worked out for them. Faden shot on, and it's cleared away. But look at this, drawing two defenders out of position. Here's an opportunity there for a goal for DedGoose, and then more pressure to the point there, fella.
Tractonics with a great save, but again, I have not seen the ball cross this half yet this game. I mean, DedGoose have had iron-tight offense right now, and even when it does cross the half, these guys quickly disperse it. As Goose on the back wall, Faden gonna miss, but Deadman walking gonna set Faden up quick to rebound. As Faden trying to wave dash, getting the ball back. Deadman walking gonna stop the ball in its tracks. Skoy taking it slow, Lemon trying to contest as well, but Goose getting another pop set up for Faden as Faden hits it down, double commit from Skoy, but they do have an opportunity. Goose is back and is going to get a great clear back into the offensive half.
Well, I can't understate how much precision it takes to be that aggressive with your teammates and still be in sync. And the third shot, top 90, is from Faden. 3-0. I gotta say, the space occupied by DedGoose, the transitions, the speed. This goal here was a matter of time. Bang!
Top shelf where Grandma keeps her cookies. Faden getting an amazing shot, ever increasing this lead to 3-0 just over halftime.
Oh, are there cookies involved? That's what?
Oh, top shelf, that's where Grandma keeps my cookies, man.
Oh, for sure.
I would know. Tractonics gonna take it nice and slow. Goose trying to get a bumper demo out, Faden to contest. Tractonics on the retreat. Deadman walking, gonna try to hit it into the corner. Couple bumps as well, a little bit of disruption going on defense. Skoy hitting it a little bit wide. Deadman walking, gonna meet up with Team Bread as Lemon tries to keep that ball in the offensive half, but not before Faden can get the 50. Skoy with an unfortunate miss. Deadman walking, unfortunate slow shot, but Faden attempts to try to keep the possession on offense for a little longer. As Deadman walking, gonna try faking out Tractonics a little bit, bait him out on the backboard. Faden, oh, gets past 3! How did this happen?
So it breaks my heart to say this because Brett is not doing anything out of the ordinary or wrong. They're just being caught flat-footed by a team that's just been so aggressive. It's like being in a Street Fighter contest against E Honda and you're having the 100-hand slaps coming to your face. What do you defend? You can't defend everything at once, and that's what the 4-0 scoreline.
Well, Navanta, there is a reason this team was previously undefeated. These guys are so strong on offense and have air-locked precision. Faden, oh my gosh, what a shot!
Coming out of nowhere, this here's a special delivery. Look at that, UPS, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all the sponsors. Look at a shot in there, and that's the nickel. 5 goals scored, 5 goals unanswered.
Oh my goodness, this team is on fire right now. Novanta, we are only in game 1, and 5 goals have been scored in a matter of 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
You know, in a minute and a half or a little less than that, it'd be a chance for Brett to get back in this contest. But right now, it's been all dead Goose. And I say Goose with a little bit of a trickle there, had an opportunity to be a hero for the 6th goal, and that's going the other way. And finally, Brett pulls one back.
Well, chat, get your bees out, because this is a possible Brazil for the team of DedGoose. These guys have been killing it. They're allowing 1 goal for Team Bread. It's good to see some life out of this team, though. Tractonic, Skoy, and Lemon working super hard overtime on defense. Finally are rewarded with a goal into the net, but will it be enough carrying into the latter part of this series, Navanta?
Nobody wants to be in the Brazil. I've been in plenty of those, in the blunt end of those. You got to do whatever you can. Get that 2nd goal. Do for pride. Do for club. Do for the stream. And here's a shot on. And finally, to avoid that, Tractronics makes the double there.
Tractonics shutting down the possible Brazil, upsetting many fans around the world. But that is A-okay if you are on Bread. You know, there's more life. You can see DedGoose may have a couple weaknesses that you can take advantage of. 2 goals to 5 with just under a minute.
Well, that was a pride goal. It makes you wonder whether or not there's going to be a bit more of a goal for the road for DedGoose. You know, scoring 5 goals is great. It's impressive. Not taking away from that. But you don't want to be the one to score, or don't be the one that doesn't score the last goal to say, hey, look, we're still in this contest. We'll see you in game 2.
Goose with a nice play, trying to go for that solo play off of the ceiling. Tractonics trying to set up his teammate. Wait a minute, Novanta. We have 30 seconds left. Is this going to be a comeback?
What I'm talking about. Look, I understand scoring 5 goals is great, but if you let your opponent score 3 goals back to back to back, I have questions, but does Brett have the answers?
As much as I want to say, you know, you can never be sure about a 1-0 deficit, can you even be sure about a 5-0 deficit at this point? I mean, Bread have shown they have life in this series. 20 seconds left, Deadman walking, getting a nice demo. But, I mean, you gotta be a little worried for DedGoose. You did score 5 goals, but you managed to get scored on 3 times within almost a minute.
Almost 4? And it is 4! Oh, no. Well, what's the reason why you called him insurance goals, a big fella? Because any other team would have taken L. 6 seconds, I'm sweating in the booth. I'm not sure how you're doing this, but I am totally drenched. Can DedGoose hold on?
Well, I am struggling to predict that one. 6 seconds is plenty of time for a goal, especially when the kickoff goes like that. Bread is excited as ever, but Deadman walking, gonna shut that down. And oh boy, what a close game 1.
How do you score 5 goals and eke away with a win? Well, DedGoose just tells you. That's what we're talking about. A little bit of a tipsy-topsy, weebly-wobbly effort from them, but I got to give props to Bread. Having themselves against the wall, any other team would probably drop this game and say, see you in game 2. They brought the fight. They still have the L, but they look a lot stronger for it.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, when you go from a 5-0 deficit to barely almost tying the game within practically a minute and a half, you gotta feel good about your team, especially being able to discover their weaknesses in that game 1. You know, that's the beauty of a best of 5. You have time to figure out your opponent and adapt accordingly.
I hope it's not a tortoise in the hair situation. Game 2's on, 5 more minutes on the clock. DedGoose and Bread.
Goose starting off with a strong kickoff as well. Tractonic's going to get demoed by Faden as punishment for the clear, but not before Skoy can set up one of his teammates denied by Goose, as Goose is going to be leading the charge for DedGoose on offense. Lemon, though, beating 1 defender, possibly 2. Goose going to get in the way of Skoy. Goose and Faden going to double commit, though. These are the mistakes you want to be careful about, especially for a strong team like DedGoose, Navanta.
This is exactly what happens when you have a team that's so strong, but they find a way to be a little bit scared. I mean, I would be sweating too, like I said in that last game. And so everyone wants to be a hero. We saw that double commit, something we didn't see much of in that first game. And that's when mental mistakes come into play.
Yeah, I mean, we see it here. Possibly some nerves coming out of DedGoose, you know, being confident that you scored 5 goals, but then giving up 4 goals practically immediately can be very frustrating and very nerve-wracking for a championship caliber team like DedGoose. You don't want to feel that nervousness after scoring 5 goals yourself.
All right, fair. That was an opportunity where you had so many crossing streams and a shot that was missed wide that could have easily been the opening silo for Bread right there.
Great shot on net by Skoy, as Bread is going to carry the momentum. Even though they lost from game 1, they're going to carry it into game 2 with this bullet of an 86-mile-an-hour goal for Skoy.
Absolutely shell-shocked it for DedGoose. That first game, they were going, staying in the pocket, not rotating back, and we're seeing the opposite. Everyone's rotating back, hanging out, vacationing, parked the car, got out, take some photographs, and yet they have a 1-goal deficit. Bread's out in front.
Faden almost top shelf again, really trying to get these chocolate chip cookies this series, as Faden once again up, trying to get for that solo play. What a bump by his teammate, as Faden gonna carry it into the back of the net, and now we have life out of DedGoose in game 2.
This is Rocket League. Just walks it in. Okay, why not? Goal's a goal. They're all worth the same. And we're still tied, 1-1. DedGoose is in this one.
Just over 3 minutes to go. Both teams have been showing their strengths this game. You know, Bread is absolutely not playing like a 2-4 team this series so far, as Faden trying to take advantage of the backboard defense. Faden once again got to capitalize, 2-1 with just over 3 minutes.
Let's go back to the game 1 game plan. 3 defenders in front of net. It was an unfortunate whiff across the board. That was going to be a free shot. You kind of hoped and pray a car body was in the way, but it wasn't the case. DedGoose has a lead.
Well, the unfortunate thing about having all 3 members back in the net is timing with the miscommunication. You're struggling to know who's going to go first, who's going to go second. Am I going to drop off backboard? There's a lot of questions to be answered when all 3 members are waiting for this ball to come to them. You have to be very clear in your communication and be willing to make the first move. Hesitation will be a killer in this game of Rocket League.
Absolutely, that is the original sin in this game. Either if you choose wrong, it happens, but you don't want to hesitate. You don't want to be caught flat-footed. But it's kind of odd to say this, but even though they have the lead, it's DedGoose that seems a bit slower pace in their game 1 form.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like that, a great example. Spread was able to win a couple great 50s. Unfortunately, weren't able to take advantage of that opportunity given as the ball goes a little wide. But again, DedGoose trying to take advantage of this counterattack. One thing that they are fantastic at. Goose gonna get a weak hit slightly backwards. Tractonics trying to go for that solo play, met by Lemon as well to try to double commit. 3 on the offensive side as well, not before the ball could be cleared yet again from the corner.
Bread doing a little bit of that play forward motion that DedGoose did in game 1 so well, being able to have a second or third shot in that half of the net, even if they don't have a shot on, to be able to say, let's reset and keep the pressure on that side of the pitch. But let's see what works out for them.
Well, Faden always trying to catch their defense off guard with just slight shots to the net. Once again, off the backboard, Faden pressuring again and again, attempting to steal the boost. Skoy's going to get it this time, but not before a great bump out of Faden, as Deadman Walken is going to sink it back into the net and grab them an insurance goal with just under 90 seconds.
Or like Deadman air rolling. Look at this, the form, the grace, the poise, the goal. 3-1, DedGoose.
Well, I mean, we definitely like the strength from DedGoose coming out into this later part of second game here. You see a lot less mistakes coming out of DedGoose. Commentators curse, hopefully not, but the barrage of shots coming out of Bread is going to test their mental capabilities on defense. As Deadman Walken gets another clear, but not before being denied by Lemon. Skoy trying to take a cheap shot, unfortunately met with nothing but air.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not sure which kind of DedGoose I want. Do I want the overly aggressive DedGoose that has scored so many goals but concedes a lot, or do I want the less flasher one that has a 2-goal lead or advantage within the last minute? Both of them are nerve-wracking for their own reasons, but right now, I guess I'm going to go with game 2.
Well, the great news is Team DedGoose does have more than just one strategy. These guys are always willing to adapt to whichever play style their opponent has. These guys so far have been doing a great job of finding each other on the pitch and succeeding in those passing plays for their team on offense.
On a passing play in that mid-pitch. Yeah, so not a lot of battles happening in that midfield, something I expected in both series today, but maybe he doesn't even need it. But it's, barring a miraculous turn of events, it looks like we have series point there for DedGoose.
just buying a little bit of time in the corner, but once again, DedGoose proving to everyone why they are one of the biggest threats in the league so far this season. These guys have played such solid offense and such airtight defense as well, never giving your team an opportunity to breathe. These guys are killers out on the pitch.
Yeah, it's one of those things that makes you go, okay, I see why the record is as strong as it is. Bread still has a path to victory, but it's going to be a little controversial. It's going to be a little bit off kilter, big fella. I understand when the attack is coming at you, you want two people on the line. I say do the opposite. Keep one person on that line and lose someone in that upper third as a roamer in that defensive formation to give yourself an opportunity for a counterattack. That may be your path to victory here.
Well, Bread definitely have some potential to take a game, possibly the series, if they work hard enough in this game 3. But right now, it is series point for championship caliber team DedGoose, as Goose, 15 seconds into game 3, shows no mercy.
Well, as they say in Spanish, oof. That was a goal that was just knocked in there. Someone got a hand on it, but it wasn't enough. And DedGoose, once again, is out in front.
Well, hearts in hands for Team DedGoose so far, as these guys have a big advantage in the series, being up 2-0. You know, possibly being able to, start maybe trying out these flashy moves, take advantage, practice a little bit, or, keep everything to their code of conduct, keeping everything orderly and in fashion, keeping their strategies to their, or if you will, sticking to their guns.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like if DedGoose would have been an undefeated team, we would have seen a lot more of those crazy plays, monkeying as the kids say. But I think that loss last week is something to really want to make sure it doesn't happen again. But as I say that 1-goal lead is evaporated.
Well, being 1 goal up is never too assuring, especially for a team that was up 5-0 and almost had the game tied. As DedGoose, you want to just be able to score as much as possible and just relax. You don't want to be too uptight. But already a punishment. Skoy getting another goal. Now they're in the lead.
Well, those kickoff goals are so hard, but it was just Goose's opportunity a bit too fast. It's overshot that, and that was going to be a goal gift wrapped.
Unfortunate mistake, but a godsend for Bread to stay alive in this series. As Lemon pushing the ball down the field. Deadman walking, going to have to go coast to coast to save this one. Skoy with a great center track. Tonics is up. Nobody gets it, but Deadman walking, going to make it nice and awkward for Lemon on defense. Maybe possibly get a nice defensive counterattack. Skoy is up before being denied by Faden. Big dunk in the air there. Going to try to pepper it off the backboard. Met by Tractonics with a double touch in the fashionable breakout as Goose having to bicycle kick this upfield. Deadman walking out of boost, not before being able to take advantage of this possession.
Yeah, if you're all looking at Bread and you're seeing every time you go up to the air, you have a one-to-one aerial battle. I'm not really a big fan of the strat, especially at this level, but boost starving may be something in your back pocket you can use. DedGoose has just been beating you in the air. Make sure you cut him up at the knees.
Bar down attempt. These guys are relentless with their offense, just like we saw in game 1 here. DedGoose may be up 2-0, but they have to be very careful that this momentum won't shift in Bread's favor.
Shifting momentum is a part of the game, but you're right. Hold that down as long as you can. The shot around the corner, and as a big contrast to the last series we saw as demos come out, you don't see too many plays in that corner. Usually it's usually the place to set up a pass or the center. You don't see many cars going in there because you know it's kind of that quicksand kind of situation for them.
Tractonics really stepping up in this game 3. I feel like he's definitely been more of a catalyst for an aggressive start up to their offensive possession. Tractonics usually being the first one to try to get some good 50s for his team, maybe hit it off the backboard or go for these bumps on the goalie that's unsuspected of this damage. And that's really where these 2 goals have come out from. Lemon again trying to get this ball into the back of the net for the 3rd time. Skoy setting it up in the corner, and this pressure is relentless from Bread as Tractonics once again deepening the goals for Bread, making the differential 3-1 in this game 3. They are staying alive.
Yeah, you know, you hit the nail on the head. Too many times we have these high-level games, everyone wants to be a gentleman to their teammate. I have a team full of third men. You got to be a little bit more selfish, a bit more aggressive on that way. And we saw that's working out for them. 2 goals up with 3-1 score.
Lemon, unfortunate double touch. It almost went in for Team DedGoose. Let's see if they can keep taking advantage of the situation. Deadman walking, hitting it a little high, but not before stealing the corner boost. Tractonics again, trying to start. This could be upper 90 as well. Bar down. Deadman walking to finish. No, it's just high fade in. The anchor finally putting it into the back of the net.
Ended up being like a Harlem Globetrotter play, just off the backboard, brought in there by Faden. The third man again, going back to the game one aggressive nature of having everyone in the pocket at once, and now they're within one.
DedGoose not ready to give up a single game this week. Definitely showing some life. Lemon getting a nice touch as well, but they refuse to go down without a big fight coming out of Bread. They have to work super hard if they want to take a game off of the leading scorers, or rather one of the leading teams in this division.
Definitely possible, definitely doable. The record holds, but now Tactronics makes another difficult wrinkle there. If DedGoose has any opportunity to make this a sweep. 4-2, this one favoring Bread.
You know, being up 2 goals with just over a minute normally would be a great thing for Bread, but up against DedGoose, not so sure. You can never call anything this series insurance goals. We saw a huge comeback from Bread at 5-0. So being up by only 2 goals up against one of the best offenses in the league, you gotta be a little worried.
Well, it's the witching hour now. Now it's time to do or die. Will Bread try to lock it down, or will they try to go for more? And if you're DedGoose, having such a good run the first 2 games to drop a game, and you wonder, well, maybe the start of momentum shift for them.
Well, coming out of this game 3, again, Tractonics really stepping up for his team this game. Really trying to play the anchor right now, trying to play both offense and defense, get things started for his team, but unfortunately may not be able to get back in time. Tractonics is going to get lucky with that demo onto Faden. 4-2, 30 seconds left. Tractonics trying to put it away. Unfortunately met by Faden. Goose off the corner, beating 1. Can he beat 2? No. Lemon's going to hit it right over his head. Deadman walking, desperate to clear this ball, but Skoy just won't let them.
DedGoose trying to fight 3 defenders and the clock here. Last 10 seconds. Doesn't look pretty likely to get 2 goals, but they're trying everything they can. Everyone's being pushed forward here.
5 seconds left. It looks like it's going to be the end of the game. Bread is finally going to get 1 game in their favor. It is 2-1 Novanta, but Team Bread have definitely shown some strength in this game alone, and now the momentum has shifted quite a lot towards this team.
Well, absolutely. You have a team on paper as strong as DedGoose. They have 2 games, but 1 game was almost having a lead gone. The second game was more of a solid performance, but was kind of shaky. And this one they dropped. There is a psychological hold that Bread can use to their advantage to even up the series here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible for this Team Bread to come back in the series. We've seen it before. We've had 2 back-to-back game 5s last week alone. But it is definitely possible for Team Bread to come back in this series. You had Tractonics perform better than ever this series in that game 3, showing some life in Team Bread. But it's really up to DedGoose to finish this series and close out for everyone.
Yeah, we got a bit of latency issues here, but not a big problem here. What we ought to see is a total fight between these 2 teams. And you know, if you're Bread, how sweet it might be to have yourselves a game 5. But to get that, you got to win game 4. We're still tied at no score, but 40 seconds elapsed.
Faden centering the ball. Tractonics getting a nice flick, buying his team some time, but not before Goose can counteract. Not enough boost, but Faden going to take advantage of the speed. Lemon with a nice save as well. Deadman walking, getting an awkward touch, but does bait out 2 defenders. Faden going to take advantage of that double commit and put one in the back of the net with the leading charge with just over 1 minute played.
That was like a freestyle stop with the inverse plan B. Basically put the ball on a tee for Faden to shoot it in there. Well, that is trusting your skill and trusting your teammate. 1-0 DedGoose.
Well, we definitely have some life coming out of DedGoose. Again, I think a couple mistakes were on defense, but it seems that they have found their way yet again, being able to find the ball, find their teammates, and execute just like they did in the first 2 games. Faden trying to get some disruption on offense for his team as Skoy gonna barrel roll and miss, but he beats out everybody except Goose. Goose now on the backboard as well. What a save! Big pre-jump. Goose just going to try to get it away and buy his teammates some time. Faden just respawning. Gonna get that save as well, and now we are back to the midfield.
I want to talk to you about that Goose pre-jump save, almost living in the year 3022. It came out of absolutely nowhere. Another save right there, and that's kind of been something we don't talk enough about. Being able to see what your opponent's doing and to counteract that as it happened is the only reason why it's a 1-goal scoreline, because attempts have been coming left and right, thick and fast from these 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, when you score a lot, especially in the first game, your team, or the opposing team rather, does start to expect and see kind of how you score your goals. So when you score a lot of goals like that, it makes it a little bit easier for your for the opposing team to be like, you know, okay, oh, so they really go for passing goals, they're going to pass it, so I don't have to worry about staying in net, I can go and approach the ball. But Faden getting a nice goal off the wall, beating out Skoy, and further increasing their lead to 2-0 just under halftime.
I'm just kind of curious to see what the chat was thinking is going to win this series, because right now, 2 goals up. DedGoose has the lead, has the advantage, going back to that game 1 idea of doing goals from impossible angles, seemingly with the lead and the possession game firmly in tow.
When Deadman Walkin is charging at you, you best be prepared. Deadman Walkin, one of the most aggressive players on this DedGoose squad, as Deadman Walkin trying to get it up to his teammate, but not before Skoy can intercept. Can he get another touch on it? No, but not before DedGoose can clear it away slightly. Lemon having it bounce off the wall. Goose, can he finish? The ball rolls up the post. 3-0 now with just over 2 minutes.
That was an absolute mugging. We saw that ball in the corners, off to the races, almost no one there. Everyone trying to get back in time, but it was delaying the inevitable, and that goal right there, I'm not saying, it's kind of early to say a dagger, but if that becomes one of the goals we remember from the series, it's about how ingenious was it for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to commit to these offensive plays if you're going to really succeed in our league like this. You know, DedGoose constantly committing 3 on offense in the offensive half, always being these tight-knit rotations, which may cause some problems, but for them, seems to be working out perfectly, as being able to score 3 goals now, possibly 4, as Goose tries to get another one behind the defender. But yeah, you have to be able to commit heavily in order to start scoring against these ironclad defenses in this league.
Yeah, well, we got that last 90 seconds here in game 4. We haven't seen any goals there from Brett, but now will be the time for them to get on that board and really chip away at that lead. 3 goals in a minute is definitely possible, doable. They have to happen now. And that shot was knocked away the last possible second from Faden, epically.
Tractonics sets up, solo play by himself. Faden waiting very patiently on the backboard, ready for whatever Tractonics has to offer. Faden in net, Goose on the backboard. Absolutely ready. Deadman Walkin off the wall. Faden trying to sneak a fast one past Tractonics. Not before he can settle the ball to the corner and make a play of his own. Tractonics gonna whiff, though, unfortunately. Only gets 1 touch, and Goose puts it to 4-0.
Goose, technical savage, stopping it, going it, even the barrel to have the ball inside, splitting the defense. That is something that you try to do on the pitch and you will fail out in training, but Goose making it happen when it counts. 4 goals up there for DedGoose.
The golden goalkeeper able to counterattack so swiftly for his team and just further increasing the lead. Now they have come back almost from a 5-0 deficit in the first game, but in 30 seconds, Novanta, 5-0 in 26 seconds is going to be a little hard.
This is the kind of pilfering I'm so used to from DedGoose, and going back to the script that worked for them. Goose obviously feeling themselves coming out of nowhere. Bottom 90. That one there is all class. 5-0.
Low and far post. Shout out to Coach Doyle. Goose showing up and showing out for his team consistently week after week, proving to be one of the most valuable third man in this league. These guys have been absolute gladiators this series. Few demos come their way and just absolutely been able to shut down the offense that is Team Bread in multiple games this series.
Well, even though Team Bread's gonna walk away with a loss here, I still think they have the best logo in the league. But yes, despite all of that, DedGoose walks away in 4 games.
I don't think you can necessarily argue that, Novanta. I'm right there with you. Team Bread, absolute fantastic logo and absolutely fantastic team. We saw in the latter part of that series, Tractonic stepping up with Skoy, being able to enable his teammates and really be the catalyst for their offensive drive. Get a couple demos here and there, shut down that clean rotation that Team DedGoose had to get the win for that the third game, with the 3-1 series eventually heading to DedGoose's favor.
Question becomes now, if DedGoose has their head in the game, who can stop the wrath of DedGoose? When they're on, coming from all different angles, all different locations on the pitch to score, to run up the score they need be. This right here may be a look at potentially the future champs.
I mean, these guys have definitely proven their worth. Like I said, up until last week, these guys were undefeated. Very, very strong team, very well coordinated, highly communicative as well. Being able to be in these tight-knit rotations are a huge plus for a team as synergy-filled as Team DedGoose. I mean, these guys have proven time and time again why they are second place right now. These guys have been absolutely killing it out on the pitch.
Yeah, they've been killing on the pitch, and to be able to recover after letting their opponents back into the matchup is the stuff that you can always take into any rounds of the playoffs. But as we said going into the stream there, fella, it's the end or almost the end of the regular season. Playoff implications are already running wild. Brother, I don't know who you have for predictions. If you have predictions in the chat, let us know. But this might be the most competitive season of 9Moons Rocket League I've ever seen.
Every season just gets better and better, Novanta, and the greatest thing is we get to sit back, relax, and watch it all unfold. Absolutely, with this playoff contention coming in to play for all of these teams in just a matter of 2 weeks, Novanta, these teams now have to really start thinking about how they can apply synergies, how they can apply strategies. What are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what to fix, and how to improve. This is the real grind time for everyone in this 9Moons League.
Absolutely. Well, that concludes Rocket League for us this week, but fella, always a pleasure being in the booth with you, man. Again, I want the autograph. I want it like really big too. I'll put my poster when you can. Okay.
Absolutely, big autograph from a big fella. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will all see you next week for the final week of regular season for 9Moons Rocket League. Thank you so much.